This haunting security footage went viral after the death of social media influencer Mia Starr. It shows a masked man captured on CCTV moments before he burst into Mia's room while she was live streaming and murdered her in cold blood. And this was just before Mia was set to host a popular award show, which was by no surprise canceled due to her untimely death. And while an arrest for the crime has been made, case files suggest that authorities may have got the wrong guy. And many speculate that Mia's boyfriend Luke might be the man responsible. The case has since been reopened, and now you can help solve the mystery of who killed Mia. This murder mystery game is an absolute must for true crime fans. And what I like most about it is that it has both physical and digital elements to the game, which makes it feel like you're solving a real-life case. There are top secret files you can sort through, and at one point in the game, you can actually use your device to hack into Mia's phone. And if you want to check it out, they have it at Walmart, Amazon, Target, and of course, the link in my bio.
This man cut his mum up, ate her, and also fed her to his dog. Alberto Gomez is a 30-year-old former Spanish waiter. In 2019, when he was just 26 years old, a shocking crime was exposed. Police were called to his family home in Madrid in February 2019. Alberto's mum, Maria Gomez, hadn't been seen for a while. Her concerned friend had called the police to request a welfare check on her. Police searched her property and found something absolutely horrifying. Maria's body parts had been chopped up into tiny pieces and stored in plastic Tupperware tubs. Her head, hands, and heart were found on the bed. It's reported that she'd been cut up into over 1,000 tiny pieces. Now, Alberto was dubbed the cannibal killer after he made a shocking confession to the police. When interviewed, he admitted to strangling his mother to death. He also confessed to dismembering her, and horrifically, he admitted to eating her remains. He said some were cooked and some were raw, and he shared them with his dog. He used a carpenter's saw and 2 kitchen knives to dismember his mother's body. It was revealed in court that he did regularly take substances and had been arrested 12 times for mistreating his mother. He'd also breached restraining orders multiple times. He claimed that he had been experiencing a psychotic episode during the killing. However, the jury rejected this claim and he was given 15 years and 5 months in prison. When addressing the court, he said, "I'm very repentant. I suffer anxiety from the moment I wake up. I think of my mum and I'm absolutely heartbroken."
You'd think a yoga retreat would be one of the safest places in the world, but Nancy Ng has been missing since October 19th. 29-year-old Nancy had loved this Guatemalan yoga retreat so much that she booked it for the following year, and it was during the second visit that she vanished. The last sighting of her was when she was kayaking on Lake Atalon with other tourists. She and another person broke off from the group and kayaked about a mile into the lake. This is when the witness said that she jumped out of her kayak to swim. Now this is odd to me because 1, if she didn't come back up, wouldn't you immediately get alarmed and alert the authorities nearby? And 2, if she didn't come back up, why would she just leave her kayak with somebody and then you would have to kayak yourself along with this extra kayak back to shore? The Guatemalan search and rescue efforts stopped after 72 hours per that country's missing persons protocol. But 95% of this 300-meter deep lake has been searched because the family hired their own search team. 300 meters is definitely deep, and I looked up Lake Atalon online to see if it was safe to swim in, and it said that it was generally safe, but it did point out that towards the middle of the lake, which is where I think Nancy was, waters can get a little choppy. It's possible that Nancy drowned or she could have fallen victim to foul play, and until they find her body, we don't know the answers. The tourists who were last seen with Nancy have returned to America, but the family asks that internet sleuths not broadcast their names. Nancy's case is going viral, which is great, but the family asks that people don't broadcast the names of the tourists. In viral cases, people will often pick a suspect and just pick them apart, and the family's worried that if this happens, the tourists will lawyer up and not talk. The family has a GoFundMe to help with the search if you'd like to donate.
The Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital, through the acts of its employees, engage in extreme and outrageous conduct, intending that conduct to cause or with reckless disregard of the high probability of causing severe emotional distress to Beata Kowalski prior to her death. Yes. 35. What is the total amount of Beata Kowalski's damage?
Following a horrific viral video, this woman was murdered. Transgender woman Malaysia Booker was just 22 when she was killed. Her horrific death occurred on the 18th of May 2019. Police were called to an incident on Valley Glen Drive in northeastern Dallas at around 6:40 a.m. They found the victim lying face down, deceased from homicidal violence. She didn't have any ID with her at the time, so she was identified the next day. Now, the victim had actually gone viral the month prior as part of a horrific video circulating on the internet. She was violently attacked by a group of males in the car park of an apartment complex on April the 12th, 2019. Now, the incident started with something fairly minor. Malaysia was accused of reversing into somebody's car. She was viciously attacked and a crowd gathered, and rather than get the woman the help that she needed, they started videoing. The video started circulating on social media, and Malaysia suffered from concussion and a fractured wrist. Now, Edward Thomas, the man who attacked her, was charged with aggravated assault and held in Dallas County Jail. He was actually convicted of a lesser charge later on of misdemeanor assault and given 300 days in prison. After surviving the attack, Malaysia spoke out about violence against the transgender community. Just a month later, she was dead. After she was found deceased from a gunshot wound, Kendrell Lyles was arrested and charged with her murder, as well as 2 other killings. Police stated that Malaysia was seen getting into a light-coloured Lincoln, matching the description of Kendrell's car. Police also examined phone records which showed he was in the area at the time. He's been sentenced to 48 years for that killing. Shockingly, he's also charged with shooting Letitia Grant, aged 35, just 4 days after Malaysia's murder. He's also charged with killing Kenneth Kichoki the day after.
Breaking news, a real-life Michael Myers has been attacking people. Authorities say they received 3 calls separately on Monday evening. The first call came in shortly before 6 p.m. The victim told officers that a person was armed with a hammer and demanded their cell phone. About 15 minutes later, a second victim made a phone call and said that a suspect was chasing them for a short distance and then stopped. However, when the victim returned to their vehicle, they found that their window had been smashed. The third incident took place near a home just after 7 p.m. The man reported while walking through the neighborhood he was attacked, and after the attack he realized his wallet was missing. All 3 of the incidents described the suspect arriving and departing in an older gray or silver sedan. The victims, all 3, gave the same description of the suspect, including a white Halloween mask, which they described as, quote, a Michael Myers mask. Here's a look where the incidents all took place in Omaha, Nebraska. I'll keep you guys updated. What do you think? Drop in the comments.
Mysterious case of time travel in Times Square.
Do you believe in time travel? At 11:25 p.m. on June 15, 1950, visitors in Times Square, New York, noticed a peculiar man around 30 years old, dressed in an odd outfit believed to be popular during the reign of Queen Victoria nearly 100 years prior. He seemed extremely confused, like a lost person, constantly staring at the bustling cars passing by. Suddenly, a large car rushed towards him, causing his immediate death. Upon examination, investigators found a series of unusual and bizarre items on this man, including a letter sent to Philadelphia in 1876, 70 old dollars that had been discontinued, and a personal business card with the name Rudolph Fentz. The most puzzling thing was that all these items were very new and showed no signs of decay, even though they were at least 80 years old. After searching through missing persons records, the police finally found the daughter of Rudolph Fentz, who was then 80 years old. She recounted that in 1876, her father, then only 29 years old, mysteriously disappeared while on his way to mail a letter. Afterwards, all investigators were stunned into silence upon learning that every description from age and appearance to clothing of her father completely matched with that peculiar man.
By the way, this video is scripted and for entertainment purposes only. Stay weird.
Oh no. No, 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 no.
Hi, honey. How are you, sweetie pie?
I'm hurting. I miss you.
I miss you so much, too. I miss you so much every day. Every single day.
You know how happy it makes me feel to hear your voice.
Same here. I miss you so much, and I am so happy that I'm finally able to hear your voice, too. Yeah.
I love you.
What did you say, sweetie?
I hope I can see you soon.
I would love to see your son. I would love to see your son. We just have to wait for the judge to make the decision, okay? As soon as he makes the decision, then I'll be able to see you.
This is the Pitbull video, one of the hardest cartel execution videos to watch, explained. The video that I'm about to explain is extremely graphic and I don't recommend searching for it. The video begins with the man lying on his back on the ground, and two men are holding his legs open. He's being restrained. And in total, there is 5 perpetrators and 1 victim. And also 2 pit bull dogs. Apparently, this is the victim's punishment for allegedly doing something with a kid or to a kid. The victim is naked, and at the start of the video, the dog has done most of the work. The dog already ripped off the man's privates, and it's just a bloody mess. The dog continues to rip pieces of flesh off of where his privates used to be, and the victim is being held down and he is also gagged so he can't scream. But sometimes the gag came loose and at this point you could hear the man scream in pain. The victim was even talking, but I couldn't translate it, but that means he was completely conscious during this, which I can't even imagine the pain. As a man, this might be one of the worst videos out there. Funky Town is bad, Ghost Rider is bad, but as a man, I can't imagine anything more painful than a pit bull ripping off your junk while you're still alive. Not many people mention this video with the other disturbing ones, but it's definitely up there. There's not any information about the victim after the video. I don't know if he died, but it's safe to assume he did. He lost a lot of blood, and if a dog eats your privates, you will most likely get an infection and die from it. All in all, this video is very graphic, very real, and very disturbing. Please do yourself a favor and never go searching for this video, especially if you're a man.
Dirty facts about history that school probably didn't teach you. Part 20. Before she married Ronald, Nancy Reagan was known around Hollywood for her oral abilities, therefore making her a certified throat goat. Queen Victoria really loved doing the deed with her husband, Prince Albert. Like, really loved doing it. To the point where it was audible through doors and walls several times daily. After the Founding Fathers signed the Declaration of Independence, they went frat boy mode and racked up a pretty impressive bar tab. A bottle of whiskey, 2 bottles of wine, and 7 to 10 beers per Founding Father. George Washington in particular was known as the 3-bottle man, meaning he could drink 3 entire fifths of whiskey without blacking out. The guy who invented sea monkeys was a white supremacist, so if you ever bought this bullshit, you indirectly contributed to the Klan.
I was sucking and cutting at the same time. I liked it, she revealed. She then went on to say, I didn't know what to do. Shabusiness, who was caught on tape, chuckling at different intervals during the questioning, further confessed that the first thing she took off was Therian's head. She then admitted feeling very thrilled and enthusiastic about violating his lifeless body. Detective David Graff from the Green Bay Police Department, who was one of the officers who interviewed Shabusiness, took the stand on Wednesday. He stated that Shabusiness admitted to choking Therian initially as part of foreplay, but then she enjoyed it and wanted to see what would happen. She then confessed to cuddling with Therian's decapitated body. In his words, he says, she described how she had contact with the body in terms of playing with his private. Also, she described that she had an toy that she placed into his mouth, and that she had also cuddled with the body. As stated by the prosecutors, Shabusiness used a dog collar to choke Therian at the Green Bay residence where he lived with his mother. After his death, she essayed him and then proceeded to dismember his body using kitchen knives. In a subsequent horrifying discovery, Therian's mother found her son's severed head and private in a bucket located in the basement of their home. Later on, investigators made more shocking discoveries as they found fragments of Therian's body scattered all over the basement.
This man has been sentenced to 100 years in prison after doing the unthinkable to his daughter. Tony Valles is a 66-year-old from Helena. On the 10th of July 2022, he was at home with his partner Heather. Tony's 8-year-old daughter Ariana and his 18-year-old son were also at the house at the time. Suddenly, 2 women entered the property who he believed were evicting him. He flew into a violent rage and grabbed a weapon from his bedroom. At this point, he began shooting. He shot Heather and she fell to the floor, and then he shot at his son. His 8-year-old daughter tried to escape and run from the terror, but she was hit with gunfire. She was on the stairs when she was hit by a bullet and she fell back. She tragically died after being rushed to hospital. After his daughter's death, Tony stated, "I'm sorry for all this. I can't undo what I've done. The pain and the misery will last a lifetime, and I'm sorry for all that." Tony was sentenced to serve 100 years in prison.
This has got to be the funniest news video. Just watch.
Okay, so just to double check before I start, y'all said whoever come forward, we not gonna go to jail, so I'm not going to jail, right? If I tell, I'm not going to jail. I need both of y'all to tell me I'm not going to jail. Okay, cool. So boom, let me tell y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all everything that happened. So 3 days ago, me and this girl got into it. Her name Keisha. That's the one y'all should be looking for, and the one that y'all want to lock up. She started everything. She always starts everything. So me and Keisha got into it. I pulled up on her, tried to handle that, but I'm gonna be honest. Keisha whooped my ass. I would never pull up on somebody again. Well, I ain't learned my lesson that day. I learned my lesson this day in this Walmart brawl. Keisha beat my ass. Oh, don't curse. This live? My bad. Fuck you, Keisha. Anyways, so I ain't never in my life got drugged by my eyelids. She drugged me by my eyelids, and I'm not even playing. I'm not over-exaggerating, and I'm not doing too much. Keisha make things happen. I would never fight Keisha again. Well, I did try to again at this Walmart brawl, but that's because I had my crew with me. So I told Keisha next time I see her, since you basically jumped me, she hit me with both of her hands. Her head, she bit me, she kneed me, and she fucking used her fucking ankle. How you beat my ass with your ankle? I don't know how she did this. I feel like it wasn't a fair fight. You jumped me with your other body parts. I don't like that. So on this day in particular, with all this stuff with the cameras and stuff, I seen Keisha in Walmart. It looked like you laughing, and I don't like that, but I'm gonna keep going since this live. I'm gonna give a shout out to my Instagram at She Tally. But I seen Keisha at Walmart. Made sure I hid behind the counter. Made sure she didn't see me, because I already told her next time I see her it's on site. But you tell Keisha something like that, Keisha gonna come get your ass. You say it's on site, it's on site. See, when I say it's on site, I just be talking, because I got a lot of fucking mouth and I ain't got no hands to back it up with. But Keisha do. So anyways, I saw Keisha in Walmart, called my crew up. That's why it was so many people. I called my family. I told them, because I told them 3 days ago she jumped me. They don't know it was just her and all her limbs beat my ass. But my family came up there and we just did what it do. And somehow, I'm gonna be honest, I did get my ass beat again by Keisha. A second time in the middle of that whole brawl. But that ain't the point right now. The point is, y'all said whoever come forward and tell. Thought I heard Keisha. The point is, y'all said whoever come forward and tell, we not gonna go to jail. So I need y'all to lock Keisha up, because she beat my ass again. Her family beat my family. I don't know what the fuck Keisha family be fucking feeding them. Because them motherfuckers, I don't even know where the fuck they came from. But y'all gotta do something about that.
She Tally will not be going to jail. We love her. We stand her. She's hilarious.
There is breaking news in the mysterious double homicide in Ellerslie, Auckland this week. New Zealand police have scoured at least 4 different crime scenes this week in connection with the shocking double murder of an elderly couple in Ellerslie. 66-year-old Fuk Fu Joseph Kwok was found stabbed to death in his house in Ellerslie, Auckland on Monday morning. Police believe that he was killed on the Sunday the day before, and his wife was nowhere to be seen. 67-year-old Mei Han Chong was considered a suspect by police, and they asked the public to be on the lookout. The couple's car was also missing, and police believed that Mei may have tried to escape the scene in the vehicle. However, it was later revealed that Mei Han Chong couldn't actually drive, so this would have been impossible. Police also discovered evidence inside the house that suggested that May did not leave of her own accord. And then sadly, on Thursday night, her body was discovered in the suburb of Greenhithe in Auckland. The couple's car was later found on Hall Road in Glenfield. A 42-year-old man was found and arrested in Hamilton, which is about an hour and a half away from Auckland. However, he does actually live in Glenfield, and he appeared before the Auckland District Court earlier this week. This morning, police revealed that they've also arrested a 26-year-old man in relation to the killings. Police say they're not looking for anyone else in relation to the charges.
What Ruby Franke said in court yesterday is shocking. Yesterday there was a shelter hearing, which was to determine where her 4 minor children should be. So she appeared from jail via a video call, and her husband Kevin was also in court. She turned on her kids and basically said that one of her 4 minor children had been essaying their younger sibling for years and molesting other kids in the neighborhood. She said that this happened, and then the 2 of those children would go on and abuse other kids. She said that the 2 kids used to play a patting game, but wouldn't go into detail as to what that meant. She said that when this child was 3 years old, they were watching porn. Like, how would they even have access to that? Is that true, or was it something that she is exaggerating, or is she just completely delusional, or did that happen, and why? And I don't know, like, she's crazy. And she said that this past May, this child admitted to molesting and abusing 20 other kids, including cousins and neighbors. Now, she didn't provide any proof of this. Who knows if this is just her twisted mind, but the judge said that because of these allegations, then this child needs to be placed in a home with no other children. Kevin sat quiet during this time, and he has given no further, no comments on any of this. There is a different court hearing that is set for today, this afternoon, so we'll see what comes out then. I don't know what to believe. I don't know if I believe any of what Ruby has to say. If any of these allegations are true, that's awful for all of the kids involved. I also don't trust what she says, though, because of her pattern of behavior.
This is the worst cartel execution video that nobody talks about explained. The video that I'm about to explain might be one of the hardest watches, and I don't recommend searching for it. The video is about 2.5 minutes long, and it's shot in the middle of the night. You see a naked man lying on the ground with his hands tied behind his back, and he also has a chain around his neck. The victim is surrounded by 2 cartel members, and the torture and the execution begins immediately. One of the cartel members is holding the victim's right leg to keep him still, and the other cartel member who is holding the knife takes the victim's left leg and begins cutting it at the knee. The victim screams in unimaginable pain, and in a matter of seconds, the victim's left leg at the knee is dismembered. And it's obvious the man doing the dismemberment has done this before. He then takes the severed leg and begins beating the victim with it. He hits him over and over again with his own leg until he moves on to the right leg, where he does the same exact process. He then cuts off the victim's right leg at the knee and begins beating him with it. And the victim during this whole process is completely conscious and aware of everything. The cartel members then take a moment to pose with the victim's severed limbs, and they then rest them on his torso. The cartel members then turn the victim over so he's lying on his stomach, and they then begin to dismember his arms. They start with his left arm at the shoulder, and at this point the victim begins screaming again, confirming that he is indeed still conscious. They then move on to the victim's right arm, and at this point the victim stops screaming and begins to groan, almost like he doesn't have the energy to scream anymore, and at this point the video concludes. This video is absolutely horrible, and many people tend to skip over and forget about this one. It's absolutely barbaric, and it's a sight you will never forget. Whatever you do, please stay curious and never go searching for this video because it will most likely mess you up. I will never get over the fact that stuff like this happens every single day on this planet.
Blood-curdling facts you did not want to know. Up until 1974, it was illegal to appear in the streets of Chicago if you were ugly. The best way to torture someone and make it as painful as possible is to steam them alive. It takes longer to destroy their nerves, the sensation is hotter than boiling water, and your organs are cooked from the inside out. Kagura syndrome is a mental delusion where you believe that the people around you have been replaced by imposters. The movie The Hills Have Eyes is based on a Scottish group from the 16th century called the Bean Clan. And over the course of 25 years, they killed and ate over 1,000 people. Brains taste like ice cream. If you live in a major city, there is currently a nuclear weapon pointed at you as you're watching this video.
Breaking news, a prominent Hollywood executive's son has been arrested after his wife's torso was found in a dumpster. They have also released video footage of him committing the crime. The investigation into the suspect began on Wednesday after a homeless man digging in a dumpster located the torso. They said that it was wrapped in a plastic bag and placed just outside of the dumpster. Here is video footage of the suspect removing an extremely heavy object from the trunk of his car and placing it at that dumpster. That surveillance footage is what ultimately led them to the home of the suspect. When they arrived at the home that he shares with his wife, 3 children, and her 2 parents, they found evidence of a crime. In addition to that, his wife, 3 children, and her 2 parents were missing. A short time later, they were able to locate the 3 children at their school. Though they have not been able to positively ID the torso located in the dumpster, they do believe it was that of his wife. He was found at Topanga Mall and arrested around 11:30 a.m. that same day. Detectives are still looking for her missing parents as well as 2 vehicles. They are looking for a white Volkswagen Tiguan and a white 2014 Nissan Pathfinder. The night before the homeless man made the discovery, neighbors reported seeing a body in a bag outside of the suspect's home. However, when authorities arrived, they said there was nothing to be found or substantiate the report. The suspect is the son of a prominent Hollywood executive. His father, Sam Haskell Sr., is the founder and president of Magnolia Hill Productions. This production company has produced various Dolly Parton projects. In addition, he was also the head of a television company that represented talent such as Dolly Parton and George Clooney and TV series such as The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Lost. His son has since been charged with 1 count of murder and is now being held on a $2 million bail. I'll keep you guys updated. What do you think? Drop in the comments.
From the middle of my chest all the way to my chin through my jugular. That was squirting out while my arms here were macheted. My back was stanley knifed in, my leg done in. I've got 410 shotgun shrapnel coming up my leg. I've got bullet holes just above my liver. You know what I mean? I've been covered, mate. You know what I mean? I'm like the British version of Chopper Reed. Come on, you don't go to the jugular unless you're trying to end someone there. When I had a fight with them, and obviously I beat a good few of them, and pride was a lot of things, so they come back my banded with knives. And they must have thought I was going to run, but I got stuck into them. It's a coward's game, like I think everyone would agree. I think it takes a man to go out and have a fair few bangs. Anyone can pull a trigger or stab anyone. If you're willing to go out and do that to people, then you can't complain when someone pulls and winds the window down and shoots you dead, can you? Karma's a bad thing, man. It goes round, doesn't it?
Breaking news, 14-year-old rapper Little Tay has sadly passed away. 5 years after the controversial social media star rose to fame, she has sadly passed away at the age of 14. She goes by the name Little Tay, but her real name is Claire Hope. An unnamed family member made a statement that her and her brother had both passed away. However, within that statement, they did not reveal the cause of death. 5 years ago, her video showed her cursing, insulting passing buyers, and also flashing stacks of cash and starting fights. She soon rose to fame, gaining 3.3 million followers on IG. At the time, she was pegged as one of the internet's biggest rising stars. I'll keep you guys updated. What do you think? Drop in the comments.